Well, hey folks, how's it going today? I hope everyone's doing really good. Well, today we're going to take the fretboard off this Harmony acoustic here, and we're going to put a truss rod in it, an adjustable truss rod. This has the steel enforced neck, which is non-adjustable. And, you know, most of these old Harmonies had them, true tones, silver tones. They never really worked, let's just say that. I think the metal was just too soft, or it wasn't big enough. So we're going to put an adjustable truss rod in this one. The owner wants to keep this guitar. He really enjoys how it sounds and plays. So, you know, he's willing to make the sacrifice. Now, he told me it didn't matter to him which end I put the adjustment on. So we're going to just kind of check it out as we get the fretboard off it and see what's the best option. All right, let's get the strings off. Oh, that one's got a rock in it or something. I want to cut. All right. Okay, so a few things. I took an old guitar string and just kind of wove it through all the tuners. And you can do this with tape or anything too, but that'll keep these little grommets from popping out of the headstock. I had that happen one time, and I didn't have one that matched, and I looked for one pretty much for 2 hours, tearing the shop apart to try to find it. So I won't make that mistake again. All right, we're going to get the nut off. All right, I'm just going to take a block of wood here and give her a little tap. Usually don't take too much. Okay, we're going to put that in the, it's a bone nut too. We're going to put that in the little patch tray I got going. It's a good idea to do that too. Okay, so I think what we're going to do now is put a clothes iron on here and get this thing warmed up, and then we'll take a palette knife and see if we can get the patty started. Okay, so we got the old clothes iron on here, heating the fretboard up. I'm going to start on this end. I've actually had this section removed once because I did a neck reset on this guitar previously, probably a month or so ago, maybe a couple months ago. I can't really remember now, but in any case, that should come loose. And a lot of times these really aren't glued that well, so hopefully that's the case with this one, and it will just come off nice and easy. Okay, let's see if we can get something going here. It's definitely warm. I need to get a piece of paper or something so I don't scratch the top up here. All right, let's see if we can get her going here. Yeah, it's started to go in there. You'll hear some crackling, and a lot of times that's just the glue itself. Yeah, that's going in pretty good. All right, I'm going to work on the other side for a second. I apologize for the shaking. You guys are actually sitting right on the guitar here, so let me reposition you. All right, let's try to get it started on the treble side here. Okay, get a little cracking and snapping sound. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes it can be the wood though too, so I really can't tell the difference in the noise, but once you get things started, it usually will. That was a good snap there. Now that could have been a piece of wood, but I'm not exactly sure. Work on this side a little bit more and try to get over towards the middle. Okay. Now this side's starting to go pretty nice. Now you don't want to force it too hard. Just kind of let your palette knife do its thing. A little bit of pressure and a little wiggling, and usually you can get something going. Okay, well, I gained some ground here, and there's some glue. I'm getting right up to the heel here on the neck now, getting away from the body a little bit. Once I get this loosened up, I'm going to add some more heat. Now I've got it loosened up right into the center of the board here too, so as you can see it's pretty much free back there. Now I can feel a little hang up right here. Now sometimes if you can't get it to start in one side, switch over to the other one before you just gouge everything up, and try to push your palette knife through from the other side. Oftentimes that will help quite a bit. Then take another approach from this side, and it should unhook it right there, hopefully. Yep, we're in. Okay, so we've got the fretboard extension unhooked from the body joint to the soundboard, sound hole right now. Now we're just going to get things warmed up and start removing, from the body joint back. All right, so we're going to let that heat up for a few minutes, and we'll continue. It's a good time to check your palette knife. Make sure there's no glue stuck to it. That can happen too. Here's a little trick you can try. Taking a little bit of chapstick here and putting it on my palette knife. Just, donate one thing of chapstick. Don't use it after, obviously, but now that'll help kind of repel some of the glue from sticking to my palette knife here. All right, it's been about, almost 5 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. It's pretty warm to the touch, so let's see if we can get something going here. I'll try a little on the treble side. Well, that slid in there pretty good. I'm hopeful. Okay, same thing on the bass side. Now I'm just getting this started past the body joint. One thing you need to look out for is make sure it's coming apart at the seam and you're not digging into the fretboard or digging into the neck itself. That can be pretty easy to do with a palette knife. Just take your time, make sure you're getting it, as good as you can, obviously. Okay, so it feels like a pretty good bunch of glue in the middle. I'm going to have to probably add a little bit more heat here. One more thing just to check, touch the back side of the neck where your hand comes in contact with it when you're playing, and just see how warm that is. And if that's getting really warm, then you've got enough heat there for sure. You know what I mean? You don't want to overheat this and warp stuff, so it's good to keep checking that often. Okay, so moving right along. Kind of got my knife stuck there. Now, something you really need to pay attention to is how much you're taking at a time. My biggest fear doing this is, breaking the fretboard. They're pretty brittle anyway. And also, when you're coming in with your palette knife, sometimes it can kind of ride up and you'll be splitting the fretboard or into the neck. And that's just stuff you got to be aware of. And if you see it starting to split, the fretboard, come in from the back side and, try to work ahead of it and then work back towards where it's split. And that'll usually, save you. More heat. You want to make sure that you're spinning the guitar around when you're doing this and looking at both sides too. That's not what it looks like in this video, but I just wanted to let you know I am turning the guitar around 180 degrees so I can see what's going on both sides. Okay, well, we got the palette knife going right through both sides. I'm just using this little bit of a sawing action here to kind of help it along. I will probably add some more heat too. It's going pretty decent though. I just want to make sure I've got it warm enough, so I'll probably set the iron up one more time here. will be looking pretty good. I do apologize for the boredom here, folks, but I'm really just trying to, document this as good as I can, so it's not just, a flash in the pan and boom, the fretboard's off, and, I just want to kind of show you the steps, if you will, and hopefully this helps you out. Now, one thing I did do is I've got a couple little slivers here of wood that come out on my palette knife, and I just kind of put those in a tray, just because it might be something that you can put back in, if you have a little piece missing on the edge of the fretboard, or you could do it with like rosewood dust and glue, but sometimes those little pieces will fit right in nice and just speeds up the process. Okay, let's see if we can make any more headway here. Now, it looks like I may have kind of split this side a little bit. I can see it starting to separate a little bit, so I'm going to come in from the back side here and try to cut my way through. There we go. So I just pushed my palette knife out under the crack. It split slightly above it. And, you got to really watch that stuff, because if you don't, you'll just peel that right up as you go. And I found the best method is to come in from the other side, go ahead of where it split a little bit, try to work your way through, and then work your way back under the split. And that usually stops it right there. This one's definitely got some good glue in it. Alright. Now sometimes you got to really put some moss into it, and sometimes they'll come off pretty slick. This one's doing a little bit of both. There we go. Okay, so I think what I'm doing is hitting big gobs of glue here. And, that's just what it is. They're all different, that's for sure. I have taken the fretboards off some guitars before and reinforced the necks without an adjustable truss rod too, but, if you get the fretboard off, you might as well put an adjustable one in there. If you again, you really need to, want to play this guitar if it's really special. A lot of guys look at this as sacrilege, but, hey, at the end of the day, the owner just wants to play it. He wants to be able to play it in tune, be able to adjust the neck. I don't blame him. It's a great sounding guitar. I'd do the same thing. Now, once you get the fretboard off, you want to put that on something flat, clamp it. I'm probably going to mist it with a little bit of water too. They can shrink up, and then when you put them back on, you have to get into the side of the neck here where the fretboard joins. So it's good if you can keep them without shrinking, keep them stable while you're doing the other dirty work, if you will, with the truss rod. All right, we're getting down to the wire here. Almost to the end. Boy, that glue is really sticky. Again, you really got to be careful all the way to the end, because the fretboard's curling up right behind you every time you do this. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to pull the frets out and refret it, but these ones are okay, and if you want to have the original frets in it, it can be done. It would just help with the curling and whatnot, but that's all right. I'm going to clamp this to... Ow! Yep, there it is. I was just about to warn you guys about that when you get down to the end. And yeah, it got me pretty good in the thumb. Well, I'm going to go get that taken care of, and we'll get right back to it. Okay, so let's check out the fretboard real quick. All right. Pretty clean. Some good gobs of glue, like I said. It looks like it's right down the middle. You can see a couple little splits here, like I said. There's also a piece curled up right here, so I am definitely going to save that as well. I'll probably try to glue that down now. Then I know it's in the correct spot. It'll probably be a lot easier to deal with it. And we have a rusted steel rod here. Okay, well, let's keep going. All right, I'm going to clamp this fretboard in between a couple pieces of flooring here and just keep it flat and straight. That will probably save me some headache down the road. All right, that'll take care of that. Hold it straight at least. All right, I'm going to glue this piece down right now while I have the opportunity. I'm just going to put some super glue on it here and just try to get it pinned down while it's still intact. All right, let's try that. The biggest thing is I'm just trying to get it lined back up. All right, try not to super glue your hands to the guitar. That does happen. All right. All right, let's get the old steel bar out of it. Now what I've done is taken my palette knife and run it down along the edge of the square reinforcement bar that's in there. The reason being there's probably some glue hooked to it and I don't want it to yank the wood out, you know, when I remove it. So there's like a little ramp here up by the nut and I was able to get a screwdriver started in there. Now I can almost physically grab it. Okay, starting to go. There we go. All right. So that's what a steel reinforced neck looks like. Okay. Now, here's an adjustable truss rod. Now, I did order a 1/4-inch truss rod. I'm talking about the width here, which is going to be perfect. Now, I didn't know what this was inside. I just had to guess at it. So, I may have to make the channel a little deeper, although I'm going to have to make it a little wider. I think the depth is going to be okay for the most part. If not, we'll have to do some routing. Now, at first glance, it looks as though I could put it in here easy enough. Now, there is a brace here too, which I have to contend with. Although, I'm thinking this may hang down enough so I can get an Allen key just up under the brace and access it. If I have to just round a little bit of the brace away to make that happen, I'll do that too, and then I'll just flip the guitar over, and wherever I make that little scallop out of the brace, I'll just reinforce it with some super glue, and it should be good. You could also probably put another brace, a short brace right there in that section, and just hook it to the brace for a reinforcement. So I think we're going to wrap this up for today. I'm going to have to probably go put some stitches in my thumb. You guys don't want to watch me do that. So we're going to take a break, and I'll finish this up in another video, and should be good to go. It looks like a pretty easy task from here out. All right, well, thanks again for watching, folks. We'll see you real soon. Be good. Okie doke. Stay safe.